Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on something that runs pretty much everything in our world: computer programming.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about how a massive 400-ton airplane just stays up in the sky? And not just that, but navigates perfectly from one continent to another. It's not magic, you guys. It's code.
Or, okay, think about something even simpler. You swipe your credit card, and in like less than a second, this whole global network of computers confirms who you are, checks your bank account, and gives a thumbs up. How on earth does that happen so fast and so flawlessly?
And then, of course, there's the little device you've probably got in your pocket right now. It's your camera, your GPS, a library with millions of books. It connects you to literally anyone, anywhere. The secret sauce behind all of this? Yep, you guessed it. It's a single, super powerful concept: code.
All right, so let's get into it. What is coding, really? Let's break it down.
Okay, so at its most basic level, coding is just writing a list of super clear instructions. Think of it as a recipe that a computer can follow. The key here is that there can't be any room for guesswork.
A great way to picture this is like playing with Legos. Each line of code you write is like a single Lego block. You're carefully putting these blocks together in a very specific order to build something bigger, right? And here's the really cool part. Just like Legos, code is modular. You can build these little, reusable pieces, your blocks, and then combine them to create these huge, complex things, like a website, a mobile app, or even a video game.
Okay, so why all the fuss about being so precise? Why do these instructions have to be so perfect? Well, it all comes down to how a computer actually thinks. There's this great analogy that really helps. Imagine your computer is your friend. We'll call him Zico. Now, Zico is incredibly helpful. He'll do exactly what you ask, every single time, no questions asked. But here's the catch. Zico can't think for himself at all. He needs you to spell out every single detail.
And that right there is the biggest challenge for any programmer. See, we humans get context. But for a computer, you have to explain everything from the ground up. It's not just about telling it to drive to the store. You have to first explain what a steering wheel is, what the gas pedal does, and then you have to give it a plan for every single possibility, like what happens if there's a red light, or what if there's a traffic jam.
So, how did we figure out how to have this conversation? This whole process of translating our human ideas into something a machine can do, let's look at where it all started and how it works today.
Believe it or not, the very first program wasn't for a computer at all. It was for a weaving loom. Back in 1801, this guy Joseph Jacquard used cards with holes punched in them to tell his loom which threads to lift. This created these really complex patterns automatically. And that idea, the idea of storing instructions for a machine to read, well, it was totally revolutionary. The loom worked on a really simple principle. Either a pin goes through a hole or it doesn't. It's a yes or a no, on or off. This simple concept is called binary, and it is the fundamental language of every single modern computer. Inside our devices, you have billions of tiny little switches called transistors that are either on or off, representing a 1 or a 0.
Okay, so how do we get from our big ideas all the way down to those ones and zeros? Well, programmers write code in what we call high-level languages, like Python. These use words and grammar that we humans can actually read. Then, these special programs called compilers and assemblers, they act like super smart translators. They take that human-friendly code and translate it down step by step into the pure binary that the computer's hardware can finally understand and execute.
All right, so that's the theory. But how does this all apply to you? Let's dive into some of the biggest questions people have when they're thinking about maybe, just maybe, getting started with coding. This is the big one, right? Is coding super difficult? Is it only for geniuses? Or is it something that, anyone can actually learn?
Well, the truth is, coding is a lot like learning an instrument or a new language. The more you practice, the more you build things, the better you're going to get. A great way to start is to just build something, anything. A simple website, a tiny game. What's really key is getting a solid foundation in the basics. And probably the most important thing, don't compare yourself to others. Just focus on your own journey, your own projects.
Okay, but what about AI? With things like ChatGPT getting so good, it's a totally fair question to ask, is it even worth learning to code anymore if an AI is just going to do it for us soon?
The general feeling among people in the know is, no, AI isn't going to get rid of programmers. What it will do is become an incredibly powerful tool. It's going to automate all the boring, repetitive stuff, and honestly, it's going to create a bunch of new, specialized jobs for people who know how to work with the AI. For right now, it still needs a human to make sure it doesn't do anything, well, dumb.
All right, here's another fear I hear all the time. The idea that you have to memorize thousands of different commands and that if you don't, you'll just forget everything you've learned.
Let me tell you something, and this is really important. You are not supposed to remember everything. Forgetting stuff is completely normal. Even the experts are looking things up all the time. The real skill isn't memorizing. It's getting really good at finding the answer when you need it. You're more of a detective than a librarian. And the absolute best way to make things stick? Just keep building stuff.
And that's actually one of the most exciting things about this field. It is always changing. You're always learning. Take this for example. Python is one of the most popular languages in the world, right? But it can be a little slow. So now there's a new language in development called Mojo, and it's aiming to be just as easy to use, but get this, an incredible 35,000 times faster for certain things. Wild, right?
So with all that in mind, let's wrap up by kind of changing how we think about this. Let's reframe what it really means to be a programmer.
See, it's not just some dry, technical job where you're just typing instructions into a black screen. It's way more like being a chef who's creating a brand new recipe. You've got your ingredients, your programming languages, your tools, and you combine them in this creative way. Just like a chef plays with flavors, a programmer plays with logic and algorithms to create the perfect dish, or in this case, the perfect app.
And when you look at it like that, coding stops being this scary technical mountain to climb, and it becomes this powerful tool for your own creativity. It's a way for you to solve problems, to build things, to bring your own ideas into the world. The possibilities are, and I mean this, literally endless. So, the only real question is, what are you going to create?